Hello and welcome to the Naked Expat channel. You're in the final video of our Digital Nomad series. Over the last 4 episodes, we've tackled where to live, what it costs, how to do it legally and more. Today we're finishing strong with something just as important: connecting with people, building a social life, and even finding love while you live this lifestyle. If you're in your 20s or 30s and thinking of this path, you already know the freedom of working anywhere is huge, but freedom without connection can feel hollow. So this one's for you: how to meet friends, how to date, how to stay safe, especially if you're solo, and yes, a whole section just for female nomads and the extra awareness that brings. Let's dive in. First, let's talk about social life, because if you think this journey is just about beaches and coffee shops, you'll miss one of the biggest factors influencing your happiness abroad: connection. When you move abroad, you leave your familiar social ecosystem, friends, family, and routines. The flip side, you get to rebuild it from scratch, often in places buzzing with other nomads. That means massive potential for new friendships, collaboration, and yes, dates. On the flip side though, if you hop from city to city every couple of weeks, the relationships, platonic or romantic, often stay shallow. That can feel kind of lonely. From interviews with nomads, I've gained some real insights into some of the benefits and issues regarding this. Meeting other nomads is the best way, ideally someone with a similar social economic situation and travel style as yourself. Now that rings true when you find people who understand why you carry your laptop to the beach, why you're booking a co-working day instead of a club night. You build lasting connections because you have a greater degree of empathy with these types of people. When it comes to building a social life, pick a base for 60 or 90 days minimum. That gives you time to plug into co-working spaces, local events, and meet fellow remote workers. Join nomad groups or communities, so definitely look on Facebook or Slack for digital nomads in whatever city you're in. And use co-working cafes not just for work, but for social events. Many host mixers, happy hours, and skill shares. And don't forget weekend trips with friends you meet along the way. You'll build memories faster than one-off drinks. And remember, you're not just exploring, you're building a life. And life includes people. Now let's talk about dating. Yes, someone once said to me, you can travel the world, but if you don't let your heart travel too, you'll feel stuck. Whether you're looking for something casual, serious, or simply social connection, this is your toolkit. Firstly, online dating apps and platforms. Remote-friendly and travel-friendly apps are now more common. For example, apps like Nomad Soulmates, designed specifically for nomads, are gaining traction. Traditional apps like Tinder, Bumble, they still work globally, but your profile needs to reflect your lifestyle. So you need to state remote worker or traveling 3 to 6 months here. That helps avoid mismatched expectations. And use apps to plan ahead. Before you fly somewhere, match with locals or other nomads in that city, so your arrival isn't just, I don't know anybody. Offline methods are also great. Attend local meetups, co-working events, language cafes, and any free workshops that might be available. Engage with hobby groups like salsa classes, board game nights, fitness groups. These put you among locals and longer term expats, which often mean more stable friendships and potential partners. And ask fellow nomads for introductions. The network effect is real. Now, I got this feedback from a solo female nomad with regards to dating whilst traveling. And she said, don't let your intentions slide. Are you just here for fun? or open to something longer term? Now it sounds obvious, but it's often where things go off the rails because your lifestyle is unconventional, so clarity matters. Are you open to long distance relationships? Are you willing to settle somewhere? Are you okay with someone who doesn't travel? You need to be upfront. Dating other nomads with shared lifestyle offers high compatibility on travel habits. But on the flip side, many nomads move on every few months, making deeper connection harder. Dating locals is great for cultural immersion and local roots, but you'll face challenges around visas, long-term plans, sometimes income or travel rhythm because that's mismatched. So here's a tip for you. Pick what matters most to you. Is it shared travel or is it perhaps cultural integration? It's okay to pick one focus. Let's talk about making relationships healthy when your lifestyle moves. Whether you're building something serious or keeping it casual, the same basics apply. You need to set boundaries early. When you're traveling lots, you may blur lines, so set boundaries. Your work hours, even as a nomad, needs to remain work. Your movement, you might relocate in 3 months' time, so that needs consideration. And your expectations, what exactly are you looking for? Because this avoids confusion, confrontation, and hurting somebody else's feelings, as well as your own. Now, communication rhythm is also important. Now, what do I mean by that? What is meant by communication rhythm? This is crucial, especially if you're hopping destinations. Use tools, video calls, shared travel calendars, where am I next as a check-in. If someone doesn't understand your mobility, you're going to clash. Evaluate routability. Ask yourself, if this works, could you stay there together? Because many nomads realize halfway they're dating someone who can't adapt to the nomad life. And that's when tension appears. Research indicates that difference in travel rhythm is a major mismatch. You also need to have a solo backup plan. Always keep your own network, independent friends, and an independent travel plan. So if a relationship ends, you're not lost or stranded. Many nomads undervalue this. And do try and handle jealousy and distance. Nomad couples or partners often experience whirlwind romance, then long distance gaps or relocation stress. Keep your identity strong. You're more than just a traveller with a partner. Now this part is specifically for solo female digital nomads, although the advice is useful for everyone, of course. The reality is, women travelling solo and dating abroad face extra factors. Let's be honest and real about it for a second. From a safety point of view, there are various protocols that you need to put in place. As a solo female traveller, you also, unfortunately, have to be a little bit more careful meeting strangers on the internet. And here's what I would recommend. Always meet for first dates in public, in busy daylight venues. Share your live location with a friend independently and do a little social profile check. Ask for Instagram, LinkedIn or mutual connections. Avoid sharing your home address, absolutely, until you know somebody. And do not stay alone with someone that you've just met. And definitely, although there's a temptation to broadcast your movements, avoid announcing globally that you're single and that you're traveling alone. It may attract people for the wrong reasons. With regards to recognizing power dynamics and lifestyle matches, women nomads often mention this in forums. I met lots of people, but most men I met in popular nomad hubs were in a phase and not interested in building something long-lasting. In other words, you may meet someone who likes the idea of nomad lifestyle, but they can't handle your reality of travel, remote work, and a regular schedule. So always check. If you're traveling consistently, relationships that look great on Instagram might collapse when one of you moves. Build relationships with someone who either lives a similar travel rhythm or accepts yours. Otherwise, you're going to get what's known as relationship burnout. And remember, regarding scams and exploitation of women, there are some incredibly serious risks that you need to be aware of. Sugar Traveller or Travel Buddy offers that sound romantic but mean financial obligations. Local expectation mismatches, i.e., you're the paying tourist. So that raises costs and risks. And also house invites, which mean isolation, overnight stays, way too early in a relationship. Always trust your instincts. If someone feels a bit off, they probably are. And don't forget your support network. Stay connected with a network of other women that are digital nomads. Join female digital nomad Facebook groups, Slack channels like Female Digital Nomads, and local co-working events. When you meet other women who travel, you get support, not just dates. There are plenty of scams, red flags, and cultural differences that you need to be aware of. Before I wrap up, let's talk about what can and does go wrong. Because you're remote, mobile, and often in another country, the following risks are very real. Here's some red flags to watch out for. Somebody who never wants to meet in public, asks for you to stay over early, or pressures you into travel too quickly. If you're on a dating app and the language is slightly off and they avoid your calls, or they want to switch outside of the dating app too quickly, that's definitely a red flag. And also cultural disconnects. Dating expectations vary. In some places, you'll find local cultural norms around payments, exclusivity, gender roles, and a lot more. So do your research ahead. Here's some real life scam examples. The first one, let's travel together, which obviously means as a proposal, you're going to end up financing the trip. Fake co-working events or nomad retreats that ask for payments that suddenly vanish. Scam. And apps that seem legitimate, but they're only really a front end to something that's fishing for your identity, your location, or your money. Now, what can you do to avoid some of these? Well, obviously common sense, but make sure a friend or someone back home has your details, who you're meeting, where and when. Use a shared live location for the first few meetups. All right, we've covered a lot. You know how to build community as a digital nomad. You've got tools to meet people, both online and offline. You understand how healthy relationships on the move work. You've got extra awareness if you're a solo female nomad, and you've got a watch out list for scams and red flags. So here's your action plan. Choose one city you'll base yourself in for at least 90 days and commit to building your network. Join a local co-working space and attend at least one social event in your first week. If you're open to dating, update your app profile to reflect your nomad lifestyle and be clear about it. And set boundaries, vacant lease timelines, personal budget for social life, a backup plan if relationships end. And connect with a community of other nomads. Friendships matter just as much as dating. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe and watch my other videos about being a digital nomad or becoming an expat in retirement, or if you are an expat in retirement, how you can continue a healthy lifestyle with regards to your health and your wealth. Until next time, enjoy.